There are a number of factors at play. It has been revealed since that a number of the people who actually threw projectiles and mud at the officials were members of far-right groups who attended the protests with the aim of throwing things and causing disruption and causing violence. It has been a great deal of distrust in the authorities because many say that this crisis is not being treated as a purely humanitarian crisis, but as a political one. And the issue is that the local government here in Valencia is actually run by a coalition between the conservative Partido Popular and the far-right Vox. And the central government in Madrid is run by a socialist party. So there is a conflict in terms of left and right. And many people are saying that perhaps this delayed response was political in the sense that either the local government wanted to show that they were able to solve things by themselves without help, or that help was, in some cases, refused. Even there have been reports of help being offered from the French firemen, for example. 200 firemen were offered, and this help was refused. Some French firemen actually arrived on site of their own accord. And there have been videos going viral online of some French firemen arriving in the town of Alfafar, and they were actually the first emergency services to arrive in that street that they were pictured in. So this has caused uproar. Many people feel abandoned and wonder where the emergency services have been, where the government has been. So a lot of this anger was directed at the president of the local government, the Generalitat Valenciana, Carlos Mason, who was next to the king and queen during this visit. So many people say that this anger was primarily directed at Carlos Mason. There are protests scheduled for the 9th of November, where people will be asking him to stand down because of the reaction and the way that this has been dealt with.
Yes, I'm curious as to the point you made earlier that, perhaps this may have been something that far-right groups were trying to exploit. Can you tell us more about this and which are some of these far-right groups that you're talking about?
These are a number of far-right groups that organised their attendance at these protests via WhatsApp groups. They have also organised protests at earlier stages at other political events. So this is not a new phenomenon, but this is still it's still emerging. So I would need to check the exact names of these groups.
Okay, let's look at the situation as it stands in Valencia. We know that the death toll was rising. Are there fears that it would rise even further?
Yes. There is, for example, a car park, a subterranean car park that was completely submerged. It was part of a shopping mall. And there are fears that this has turned into a mass grave. The car park itself has been entered by professional divers who are looking for corpses because it would take so long to actually pump all of the water out. They're trying to go in and accelerate the process in this way. But there are major fears that, the death toll is going to rise significantly.
Yeah, and we are looking at live pictures of that scenario there, that car park that you were talking about, and you can see a number of authorities there who are still working to hopefully find any survivors. On the situation, where is the recovery effort at, and what are the immediate needs at the moment?
Many people are still without basic food and water. They're relying on friends to bring them supplies. There have been websites set up to try and so that people can actually say, I need help here, and then volunteers can go directly to their houses. So people are really trying to take it into their own hands because there is distrust in the authorities. This has caused a bit of conflict as the authorities have said that they would like roads to be kept clear, and there have been some complaints that the number of volunteers have been impeding this access to emergency services. But many people simply do not trust that this help is going to get to people quick enough. So there is a great deal of conflict surrounding this cleanup and recovery process. But I mean, the damage is clear to see. People have lost their livelihoods. And I mean, even currently, we've got 6 roads that have collapsed. So we've currently got 30 kilometers of traffic jams entering Valencia. So we're really feeling the impact on several levels, and it's impacting businesses as well, because people aren't able to take the train as well between Madrid and Valencia, for example. So commuters are also suffering, but obviously those suffering most are those on the ground who have lost everything.